What's good? What's good? What's good? This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. And before I go on, I want to ask you guys, do I sound clear right now? Do I sound clear right now? Let me know. Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. When you get in the stream, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to share this video if you haven't. At Raw Truth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Peace and blessings, peace and love to everyone that's tuned in. Wait, no more people to join. Daniel Sims says, I can hear you clear. Good, great. And Daniel, I'm not just talking about the audio sounding normal. Do I sound great? Does it sound, is the volume great? Thank you for letting me know, brother. I've been excited to talk about this subject. You just don't know. Let me get. So the schedule came out, and what I see so far is, just like last season, there are going to be a couple of easy games for the Hornets to win starting out. So the first game against San Antonio. San Antonio's rebuilding. New Orleans Pelicans, that could be a loss. The Pelicans have upgraded their roster. Zion's coming back. And, of course, there's no one on this team that could guard Zion. Peace and blessings to Louise. She said, you sound great, DJ. Thank you for that, my sister. And, again, make sure to hit the like button, share this video. October 23rd, Atlanta. Atlanta has a better team. New York Knicks, you really don't know what they're going to be on October 28th. October 29th, Golden State, you know they're winning that one. Sacramento, kind of rebuilding, but still a coin toss game. Chicago Bulls, tough one, especially if Lonzo's healthy. He means a lot to their team. Then you got Memphis, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, we don't know what Brooklyn is. They want to make trades. They want to trade KD to different teams. They're all over the place. And then Washington, November 7th. Now, what I'm going to do, let me do this real quick. I'm going to show the full schedule on here so everyone can look at it. Peace and blessings to you, Macrina. Everyone just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button, share this video. That's very important on YouTube. So I'm about to upload the schedule. Shout out to Brother Jones, son of Jones. Peace and blessings, my brother. I'm excited for the season, selfishly, because I know that Michael Jordan didn't do anything roster-wise. And let's be honest, this roster sucks. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. The roster sucks. And since the roster sucks, I can only be excited for Lamelo Ball and what he's going to do. The Charlotte Hornets have forced my hand to only like that of this season and nothing else, because they have only surrounded Lamelo with scrubs. And if you're going to be excited about Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward, and you're going to use that as a talking point, look at the screen and tell me if I'm lying. Besides LaMelo Ball, the Charlotte Hornets had to use LeBron, Steph Curry, Giannis, and Jason Tatum in their pictures instead of LaMelo's teammates. That should tell you something. That means that the Hornets do not have anyone marketable besides LaMelo Ball. Look at that. Jason Tatum, Giannis, Steph Curry, LeBron James, no one else. That tells you everything you need to know. They can't even market the regular starters like most teams. Look at most teams' schedule release artwork. They'll have 3 to 5 of their starting lineup or their top 2 players. But the Charlotte Hornets only has LaMelo Ball because they cannot market everyone else. So here's the funny part about the Hornets. They want to use LaMelo's marketing ability, his fanfare, his popularity. But it took him this long to really give him the keys, to give him his jersey number. Simple things that top draft picks need. Brother Jones says, talk to him, DJ. Trash roster, LOL. Man, when they play the Celtics, it's going to be murder, she roll. Murder, she roll. It's going to be tough, man. People going to have to say a prayer for the Charlotte Hornets when they play the Boston Celtics. It is not going to be an easy game at all. And shoot. Ain't nobody picking the Hornets to win that game, man. No one. They're going to be like, you know what? We're going to choose somebody. We're not going to pick that game. We already know what's going to happen. We already know what's going to happen. We ain't going to pick that game. That's going to be murderous roll. McQueen said, DJ saying, murder, she roll. Murder, she roll. I'm not even an Islander, and I can hit that tone right. Can you imagine on warm-ups, they looking at a juggernaut team like the Boston Celtics, and then LaMelo look at his own team and look at the scrubs he got on this team. In his mind, he probably gonna be thinking, murder, she roll. Murder, she roll. He's like, man, I'm keeping it real. If I'm LaMelo Ball and I'm looking at the left and right of my roster, I'm telling myself, man, I got to take over. I got to take over. These scrubs are not going to do it at all. That's what I would be telling myself if I was in his shoes. So one thing I don't want to see from LaMelo Ball, even though I'm a fan of LaMelo, you know we keep it real at RawTruth Media, so we're not going to sugarcoat anything. There should be no game where LaMelo's just passive at all. None whatsoever. No game. And family, let me know if I'm lying or not. There should be no game at all where LaMelo should be passive this season. If LaMelo is passive in a game, it's going to be a loss. And don't give me, well, Terry Rozier had almost 20 points per game. Come on, man. That's why he's not on the Celtics right now. And Brother Jones, he's a Celtic fan. He knows the history of that team. And when Terry Rozier was playing for the Celtics, he wouldn't even conform that that was Kyrie's team at the time. That's how arrogant he was. Now, I don't know him personally, but I'm talking about basketball arrogance. Fast forward right now. LaMelo's going to year 3. And if you ask me if Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier are bought in that this is a LaMelo team, I don't see it. Exactly, Macrina. Mr. Jones says, that's them church vocals, DJ. Oh, yeah, I used to sing in the church, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Mr. Jones. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I've talked to not Hornets fans, but Celtic fans many times about Terry Rozier. Like, how was it like when he was a Celtic? A lot of them told me that the Celtics were better when they got rid of a bunch of ISO ball centric players and allowed Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to do their thing. They were holding them back. So if the Celtic fans are telling me this, that's when you know it's true. Ryan Krigler says LaMelo got the keys to the marketing team, not the basketball team. LOL. That's sad. We'll see. We'll see if he gets the keys this year. Now they keep telling me he got it. But yeah, let me show the schedule for you guys. All right, let me know if you see it. It's kind of small, but oh shit, wait a minute. But that's the schedule. And I don't know. I don't think they could. Yeah, that's a little bit too small right there. Can't even zoom in. But I'll read some more of the games. So I've already told you about Atlanta, which was, let me see, October 23rd, and we fast forward to Golden State, October 29th. So the month of October, the Hornets could probably only just win 2 games, 2 to 3 games out of 7. I'm dead serious. The Hornets in October, because I'm not trying to sugarcoat, could possibly just win 2 to 3 games out of 7. They're not going to beat, just because of matchups, they're not going to beat the Pelicans because no one's going to stop Zion. They're not going to beat Atlanta. They're not going to beat Golden State. So, you know what? I'll scratch that. 4. They could win 4. The Hornets could beat San Antonio the first game. The Knicks will be a coin toss. Orlando, that should be a win. And Sacramento, a coin toss. But that should be a win. Sacramento has the talent. They just don't have, they don't have the depth. Salute to brother Douglas Goldenchild. Peace and blessings. He says, salute to my brother DJ Raw Uncut Truth for giving us great content. This schedule is going to be tough. It is. You see how tough that schedule is, Macrina? It's no joke. That was October. And you can't even get, with the NBA, each team is different. So even though I say that the Hornets can beat Sacramento on October 31st, you and everyone else knows that Sacramento's roster is better. Sabonis, and you pair him with De'Aaron Fox, they're not going to be an easy team to beat. Now, Slat, Slat, he ain't sugarcoating a damn thing. He says, I see them going 2-8 in their first games. Oh, man. This brother said 2-8. Wow. That's man, that's pretty lethal, man. That's lethal. 2-8. What do y'all think? The first 10 games. Yeah, Kings got Malik Monk. They got more depth. GG3 said the Hornets' easiest month. What's the Hornets' easiest month? I got them winning 31 games this season. Wouldn't that be crazy if Slack, I hate seeing LaMelo be on a losing team too, but I'm not gonna allow old media and Charlotte local media to blame LaMelo if they do not make the playoffs. You put Trae Young on this roster, he will not take this team to the playoffs. Or John Morant. He will not take this team to the playoffs. You got to have a team. They ain't got no bigs. The East is tougher. You need a team to win games. There's no such thing, especially today's NBA. One guy could win it. This is the team-oriented era. And even though there's stars who love to go ISO a bunch of times, their teams are better. I read October. Now I looked at October. I said, man, this schedule is tough like a mug. I ain't trying to cuss, but you know when you ain't trying to cuss, when you try, instead of say mother F, you say mug. It's tougher than a mug. That joker tougher than a mug, man. GG, man. I'm going to leave that comment right there so people can read it. He says, imagine blaming someone for not taking this roster to the playoffs. Let's be realistic, media. Yep. And for the Lamelo holics in the building, do not let the media get away with blaming LaMelo Ball if they don't make it to the playoffs. If they only make it to the play-in game, I would not allow them to do this. No one, I repeat, no one, no star. I think I saw a Twitter post a while ago. Someone said, oh, this roster is not that bad. They got Gordon Hayward, they got PJ, they got Terry Rozier. If you put Luka Doncic on this roster, they'll be a playoff team. Barely. They're not going nowhere. They ain't got no bigs. Come on, man. You put Luka Doncic on the Hornets, they're not going to be a 5 seed or a 6 seed. They have no bigs. You know what teams would do if Luka Doncic was with the Hornets? They'll allow him to score and do whatever he wants, but shut everybody else down. Because you know Luka has the green light. That could get you to the playoffs barely, but it won't get you a good seed. That Dallas Mavericks team, they're coached by Jason Kidd. They're well coached. And they have defenders. They have bigs. They play their role. They know that's Luka's team. That's the difference. So they're not the most talented, but the pieces fit. The Douglas Goldchild laughing. Hey, man. It is what it is. Ryan Krigler says it's dumb because Mitch is going to keep his job just because of the Miles Bridges excuse when Mitch didn't do anything. Even if Miles Bridges didn't get in trouble, the Hornets weren't going to make any moves anyway. So they don't have me fooled on that excuse. Oh, if Miles Bridges didn't get in trouble, we would have made all these moves. And no, you wouldn't. I wasn't born yesterday. The Charlotte Hornets were not going to make a damn move this season. At all. Miles Bridges situation or not. You got people online making excuses for the Hornets talking about, oh, well, they couldn't make any moves because of Miles Bridges. I tell them all the time, you really going to believe that excuse? You could, and if you listen to me closely. Is it true that the Hornets could have signed veteran or upper 20s age-wise 3-and-D players? Tell me if I'm lying or not. They didn't have to be top dollar. A good price, of course, because they're a small market team, but not top dollar. They could have got multiple bigs that will do the job. They could have got a veteran or ascending, meaning young but not too young, wings, guards who can do their job, who could play defense. They didn't have to overspend. They didn't have to overspend for Cody Martin. They gave him $8 million a year. And I know you say that's not that much in today's NBA, but nobody was going to pay his twin that plays for the Miami Heat that's better than him is getting paid $9 million less. What did he sign? A $21 million contract? His brother, I believe so, 21, 22. All they had to do, meaning the Hornets, was do the simple moves. Brother Jones says Miles Bridges getting in trouble made Jordan's job easier. Yeah. They're not going to admit it. They're not going to admit that, man. But I know Michael Jordan behind the scenes. I don't know him personally. But he had to do a fist bump like, yes, I feel bad, but yes. I don't have to overpay for Miles. I don't have to do anything in the offseason. Man, what an owner. What type of owner is that, man? You know what I call the Hornets situation with Michael Jordan this past offseason? I have a new term. This new term is called cheap luck. The Hornets have cheap luck. The Miles Bridges situation was the perfect situation for the Hornets to be cheap. They didn't have to be cheap, even with the Miles Bridges fiasco. You mean to tell me they couldn't do one-year deals that are cap friendly for a veteran that knows his role, that won't get in LaMelo's way? It's chess, not checkers. Gigi said Jordan was not trying to pay Miles before he did that dumb ish. But, like, how do you, as an organization, make no moves? You got blasted in the play-in 2 years in a row. It's like you're trying to be bad. Yeah, it's comfortable. It's comfortability in mediocrity. That's what it is. They're comfortable in mediocrity. But let me read off November. So November 2nd, Chicago. That's a loss. And if Lonzo is somewhat healthy, that's definitely a loss because Lonzo does the things that the Chicago Bulls need, defense and getting everyone involved, allowing DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine to get their shots. When Lonzo was injured, that team looked totally different. Now, Lonzo Ball may not be an all-star, but he is valuable to that team. Lonzo needs to be healthy this year. You don't want to have a forever lasting image of being injury prone. That's a bad label to have in sports. But if Lonzo is healthy, that's definitely a loss. November 4th, Memphis, loss. I said it so quickly. A family, we got 45 people in the chat. Make sure to hit the like button and share this video. Jalen Rhodey says LaMelo versus the world. I like to add on to that. LaMelo versus his own organization. That's sad. But that's the truth. Someone need to make a shirt about that. LaMelo versus, you can put Mitch Kupchak and Michael Jordan or something. GG says, dog, I watched every Hornets game last year. Trying to support LaMelo. I can't watch a losing team like this again. Man, it's tough. I was talking to Coach Joe. I was like, man, Coach OG, I felt bad, man, when he was calling the game because, Coach Joe loves basketball. He loves talking basketball. He loves coaching. But they was about to get on Coach Joe's nerves by how dumb they played basketball. I mean, if you get on Coach Joe's nerves, you must be doing something wrong because Coach Joe loves breaking down the game. And shout out to the OG, by the way. Jalen says, he says, how you have no one else to put on a poster? I thought you made that up at first, DJ. Nope. It's on the Hornets. Go check out the Hornets Twitter page and Instagram. That is the poster right there. That's the poster. When I saw this, I was like, oh man, I'm definitely going to talk about this. No LaMelo Ball. Not LaMelo, but no other starter but LaMelo Ball. Tedro said LaMelo is going to be a Laker legend. Oh, man. Yeah, this offseason. Liam says, all depends on how LaMelo plays. If LaMelo averages 25 plus, I could see them getting 30 wins. But if he's not going to have a big jump in points, this team won't have near 30 wins. LaMelo has to have 25 points more than he had last year. I do agree on that. 5 points more. I say about 20, 25. He can do it. What he has to do is he has to demand the ball more because this is his team. And sometimes, not sometimes, but most times, that can make someone uncomfortable to do. But he's still young. And once LaMelo gets that comfortability of saying, hey, Terry, when I'm in that corner right there, pass me the ball. Yo, Gordon, when you're top of the key and I'm on the other side and I'm slightly open, still give me the ball. Because here's the funny part. If LaMelo doesn't have an area to score in, what is he going to do? He's going to pass it to assist it, try to get reposition the offensive sets. That's what he's going to do. This team acts like if LaMelo gets the ball back, he's just going to ball hog, and he's never done that this past year, that is. So it's always funny to me that they can't give their point guard, I repeat, their point guard, the ball on critical situations to establish the offense. But let me keep reading the schedule. November 7th, Washington, coin toss game. Portland, I think they'll beat Portland, but Damian Lillard is a bad man. And he can have games where he have 50 or 60 in the game. Miami back-to-back November 10th, November 12th, Miami again. Those are losses. November 14th, they'll beat Orlando. November 16th, they'll beat Indiana. November 18th, they'll lose to the Cavaliers because they have no bigs. November 20th, Washington coin flip game. November 23rd, Philadelphia is definitely winning that game. They have no one to guard Embiid. November 25th, Minnesota, they're definitely losing that game. Their bigs are going to get destroyed against Minnesota. It's not going to be funny. And shout out to Minnesota. That's how you build your team. That's how you do it. That's how you build around your star. They're doing everything possible to build a winner around Anthony Edwards. November 28th, Boston. That's definitely a W. Not for the Hornets, but for Boston. So looking at November's schedule, let me see. Man, this schedule is so tough in November. To win just 2 games would be a blessing. Leon O'Brien, he says, I think if the refs give him a few more calls, he could easily make a jump as well. But with this team on the decline, I don't see the refs giving LaMelo more calls. Now, I wish they give LaMelo more calls. What he has to do, meaning LaMelo Ball, is he got to force their hand. He's got to attack the basket in a certain way that the officials will look at each other and say, hey, we got to give him that call. But yeah, that's one way for LaMelo Ball to reach 25 points a game. Respectable calls. And it's not like anyone's asking LaMelo to have mediocre calls in the game, but just want LaMelo to have the same type of calls that any all-star player gets. He gets that, he's getting 25 or more points per game. Slash says, I hope they promote LaMelo like during All-Star break. Yeah, that was the All-Star break of this past year. Was funny as hell. I've never seen a team promote the whole starting lineup. I think more than that. I think the Hornets were promoting 6 players. 6 players. And I was saying, what the hell you doing? I'm like, who does this? B20 says, agreed. LaMelo has to be more aggressive. 30-foot shots will not work this year. Well, he's got to add more moves. Here's what I want to point out, and I was going to talk about this later, but I'm going to talk about it now. One thing LaMelo can do to take his game to the next level. When I say next level, I mean NBA first team, second team type of level. Not just all-star. What he has to do, and I know people are going to say, well, he has a mid-range floater. Yes, but he's got to add more than that. A mid-range jump shot, 20 feet or above. When LaMelo develops that, I guarantee you, listen to me closely, he will be averaging more than 25 points per game. If LaMelo can just find a way to develop a mid-range shot, he can pick his spots anywhere on that court. When a defensive team game plans against the Hornets and say, oh, we're going to take this away, we're going to take the floater away, then he can do the mid-range shot, then he can pick his spots, and then there's a more of an offensive flow. Look at Kawhi Leonard. Look at Paul George. Look at many stars in the NBA, even LeBron James in his later career. When he developed a mid-range jump shot, his point totals increased, even at this age. That's what the mid-range is. It's the ultimate cheat code in the NBA. Corrupt Peace and Blessings, he says, need to gain some weight. That is true. I want to see LaMelo. I don't think it will be this year, but I would like to see LaMelo at 205, one point in his career. I think that's the perfect weight for him. Not too big where you lose speed and not too light. GG says, Melo avoids contact a lot, freaks out when he sees 7-footers and throws up his floater. It's hard to get calls when you're not initiating contact. Yeah, that's what you got to do. To get calls in the NBA, you have to initiate it. You have to body to body. And there's times you can look at film when LaMelo is driving to the basket and trying to do that patented floater. Sometimes he does the floater too quick. When he, like, let's say he's right in the middle of the paint, and let's say Gobert is right in front of him, but not too far off to automatically just throw some stuff up. When you have enough space, you can wait a little bit. So that's one of the things he could work on. I'm sure he's working on that now. Shout out to Jermaine Jackson, his mentor, trainer, coach, does it all. One thing about LaMelo Ball, he's going to put in the work. B320I says agreed. He will have an excellent state of mind. He will have excellent stats for mid-range shots. The big problem with the Hornets, however, is that LaMelo has no help this year. And if I keep seeing the media in Charlotte saying chances, they'll have articles like this. What are the chances that the Hornets can make the playoffs? Man, this is not a playoff team at all. You can't win in a league like this. You can't do it. You need dogs on your team. Without that, without a vision, you don't really have much. Now, LaMelo Ball, I'm assuming, they get right corrupt, no Bridges. That's tough. I'm assuming that Steve Clifford is going to give LaMelo the ball. When he was coaching Kemba Walker, he was giving the ball every single time. What he's got to do as a head coach, he's got to tell the others to get out the way and do something else. You can't have multiple players not care about defense and they all want to score. That's a recipe of losing. Now, be on the lookout if the media does it. Let's say the Hornets don't win 43 games like last season. What they're going to say is that they're going to say that the Hornets team was better last season and that James Borrego is a better coach. He's not a better coach than Steve Clifford. The only problem is Steve Clifford is only a little bit better than James Borrego. And some will say he's James Borrego 2.0, which is not saying a lot. The Eastern Conference last year is not as strong as this year. Look at all the moves, free agency, drafts, trades. The Eastern Conference has brought back their respectability. Yeah, GG. Steve Clifford doesn't move the needle. He plays a slower pace, which is not a fit for LaMelo Ball at all. That's their team. And so when they put this team out, and it's the first game, they're going to be like, you know what, LaMelo, try to win us this game. You can do it. Try to win us this game. And LaMelo's looking like, what? Really? Or they'll say, oh, we have a chance to win against the Celtics. All we have to do is play the right way. That's bullshit. In the NBA, you need talent. Appreciate that. Creative JoJo says, I love your videos, man. You keep it real. Thank you, man. I try to be myself. I'm not perfect because we as humans are imperfect at being perfect. But what I try to do is operate on conscious. Every decision I make in life, I worry about if I do this a certain way, will it catch up to me? So I try to be the best person I can be. Liam says, problem is Terry can't score without the ball in his hands. So he's useless unless LaMelo gives up the ball to him a bit. Yeah, that's definitely not. That should never be the plan. That's why I said this offseason, the Hornets should have found every single way to trade Terry Rozier and get what you can back. Because if he thinks he's going to try to take away the possessions and the points away for LaMelo, he got another thing coming. That's not going to happen. Because this is his team. I know he don't like the reality, but this is LaMelo's team. This is not his team. This is not Terry Rozier's team. B20 says, agreed. The Hornets this year is not a playoff bound. Maybe next year. Yeah. Play the young guys. Play Bouknight, James Bouknight. Play Mark Williams. See what you got. You drafted him that high, and I don't know why they traded Duren. That's still bugging. I don't care if it's past the draft and I got to move on. You know, that still bugs me. Because Jalen Duren, man, that could have been a real good thing for him. if Jalen Duren was still on this team, because I was hitting up Coach Joe and I was like, oh man, they may get Jalen Duren and Mark Williams. That's almost true, but they traded Jalen Duren because Duren can play power forward and center when you need him to. And since the Hornets don't have enough bigs already, that wasn't a bad idea to draft both Jalen Duren and Mark Williams. But here's what happened. Here's the truth, and this is what I believe. I believe Mitch Cupcake, whatever you call him, was overthinking, saying, well, we got Plumlee. Come on now. I can see it right now on the draft war room. He's talking to scouts, talent execs, and he said, you know what? Maybe we should trade Jalen Duren because we already have Plumlee and Mark Williams can learn with Plumlee. I guarantee you that happened with his dumb self. And for everyone that's in this chat, make sure to hit the like button. Let's get it to 45 likes. GG says Terry gonna get his 18 points a game, but nothing after that. Yep. And if y'all notice when Terry's not getting his points, bad body language, moping around. See, these are the type of teammates I don't want around LaMelo Ball, man. No fan of their favorite player wants teammates like that around them. This team don't make no damn sense. But I want to ask every single one of you, what is the predictions that you have record-wise for the Hornets? What do you think they're going to be this year? Are they going to win 30 games? Are they going to win 40? Or are they going to be top 13, like number 13, or almost last place? What do you think? I got the Hornets winning 34 games. And if I'm wrong, oh well, 34. And I'm actually being nicer than most predictions. Dang, Ryan Krigler got 25 wins, 25 and 57. Sheesh. Golly. $25 and 57. That could actually happen, man. That's the scary part. Macrina says, DJ, we can get surprises in games. Now, the reason why I have the Hornets winning 34, 35 games is there will be some games where the Hornets, you know how they are. They'll win a game where they shouldn't have won and play at another level. They do have the ability for it. I can't cap on that. Liam says if LaMelo makes a jump in points, I see them winning mid-30s. But if he doesn't make a jump, I say mid-20s. That's why I got LaMelo 34 to 30, not the LaMelo, but the Hornets 34 to 35 wins, because I'm believing LaMelo's going to make the jump in points. This year in the New East, if LaMelo can't get 25 points a game, the Hornets are not winning in the mid-30s. He has to score 25 or more points per game to keep defenses honest, like I mentioned earlier in this video, the stream. B320, that could very well happen. 4 to 8 games from making the playoffs. GG says Hornets suppress LaMelo first 2 seasons. Now the roster is looking how they look to feature him on this team, 32 and 50. Man, brother, this is what the Hornets should have done when they drafted LaMelo. They should have traded Terry. And I know it sounds simple, but somebody would have got would have tried to trade for an 18-point per game score. They should have never gave Gordon Hayward that contract. They should have just used it as a rebuild year the first year. It was a COVID year. And it would have been understandable. And then they would have had a higher draft pick. You're not trying to lose, but you're definitely not trying to be in purgatory mode, just being in the middle of the pack, barely making a playing game. That's not winning. Ryan Krigler says, I watched too many games of this organization and Glass, Gordon Hayward. Man. Yeah, he's definitely someone that gets hurt. I'm Mr. E, Mr. O, Mr. Glass. that Mr. Glass, you know you can't depend on him. Oh, did y'all see what Book Knight did? And shout out to Israel, man. Israel, he talked about the Hornets. This is what he posted. Let me show y'all this. This is what happens when you play young players, man. Let me show y'all what Book Knight was doing. Some of y'all seen it too. But this is why you got to play young guys, man. Don't worry about the Hornets are the last team to worry about if they're going to win or all that bull crap. They don't have a good team. Let me know if you see it. All right. Look at this. Wait. Let me take the cover out of here. Yo, let me go back. So this is Book Knight. Look at this. Yak 'em. Bam. This is what This is what happens when you give your young players a chance. I like. Now watch what he about to do right here. Yeah. That's what happens when you give your young guys the rock, when you give them playing time. There was no way, damn in hell, that Book Knight should have been on the bench or in the G League for long periods of time. That should have never happened. Should have never happened. But hopefully, Hornets, if you could do something different, man. If you could do something that you haven't done before, play your young guys for once. For once. Now, family, is that too much to ask? And it doesn't have to be everybody that was drafted. Can you at least play 3 young guys adequate minutes? Can you at least do that, Hornets? I'm not asking for much. Can you at least give them the right type of minutes so they can have confidence and so they can gel with the franchise player LaMelo Ball? Gigi says Book has potential from what I've saw. He just needs an opportunity. This team seeing what he did against Philly and ignored him the rest of the season. Yeah, that was definitely bad basketball management right there. Most teams, if they seen a rookie put up those buckets in very little minutes, that is, most GMs, most owners would say, "Hey, we got to play this young guy." You save money doing this. So the Hornets, they don't know when to spend, when they have to spend. They don't know when to they don't even know how to properly set a rotation where, okay, I'm going to give a couple young guys some minutes on this time, simplify their roles, and make them not do too much. That's all it is. That's all they have to do. But man, they make things tough, man. I don't know how local Hornet fans do it. Being season ticket holders and knowing that your team is not ran the right way. I don't know how the announcers do it. But for LaMelo Ball to take his game to another level, that will be a big help for the Hornets just to make it. Now, let me ask you this question, family. Where would you rank LaMelo Ball in handles? Do you think he's top 5, or do you think he's top 2, or do you think he's the best? Ryan Krigler says, yes, it is, DJ. It's the Hornet. No surprises there. That's how they roll. Yeah, we're the Hornets. We don't have to do anything. I watched the All-Star game video when I had time, right? And even with little minutes, because it's the All-Star game, he wasn't an All-Star starter, but he was with the All-Star team. Even with a little minutes, LaMelo had a lot of points. He had fun. That was the one time I saw LaMelo free mentally, where the team is built around fast pace, ball synergy and energy, meaning passing the ball, frequency, just knowing where to be. And this was an all-star game, for crying out loud. So I was saying to myself, it's funny that that LaMelo being on an all-star team, not even starting, teammates were sharing the ball with him more on the all-star game than his own damn team. Ryan Krigler says top 5 handles. I definitely see that. Being at 6'7" could break down a defender with a couple moves, man. That's amazing. People forget that's very tough, being tall and handling the ball like that. Gigi says handles top 10 for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I got LaMelo top 5 handles. But my goal is, as a fan of LaMelo Ball, fan of his game, all I want to see, because they're not going to win because this roster sucks, but a good season for me is if the Hornets go 35 games and LaMelo plays real starter minutes, 35 or more. We already saw his minutes per game chart. Me and Coach Joe did a video analyzing every single ball brother, and out of all ball brothers, LaMelo averages less minutes. Shoot, even his brother Alonzo has always averaged more minutes than him. The fact that LaMelo can average 20 points per game with what, just 31 minutes per game? Barely it sometimes, and they're spot minutes. So they're not in the flow of the regular starter's minutes that a starting point guard gets. For him to average that much is impressive. That's why I believe he can average 25 or more points per game. And I'm being very conservative with the 25 points because really he can average more than that. If LaMelo averaged 28 points per game, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. B20 said, handles are great, needs to work on efficiency, pass more. I wouldn't say pass more. I would like to say they have to run more sets for LaMelo. You see, they run sets for the others, but for LaMelo, for some reason, it's like give him the ball and let him cook. And really, they got to have more structure around LaMelo's game. Gigi says, every time he got hot, they yanked him. Yeah, that was another problem. And it was a problem people didn't talk about. You getting yanked every game, that's not going to help at all. And that was not just a few games. It seemed like every single, all 82 games. When LaMelo was like cooking. There was a game where LaMelo could have had 50. I'm trying to remember which game it was. And Coach JB took him out the whole, like, what, upper third quarter. And when JB did that, I told myself, oh, man, LaMelo ain't going to average 50 in this game. He could have had 50. Shout out to channel member and Real One Trent. He said, Guy averaged 7 assists, LOL, pass more. Half of his turnovers came from oversharing the ball. I do agree with that. I think it was the Bulls. Yeah. Creative JoJo Bulls. It was against the Bulls. LaMelo had he had 30, he had like 33, 34 points per game. No, not game. He had 32, 34 points in that game around that third quarter. JB just put him on the bench. And he was stuck with that number the whole game. And I don't, for some weird reason, LaMelo was being very passive from the mid-third quarter to the fourth quarter. I don't know if JB told LaMelo to overpass or what, but I never want to see LaMelo overpass. Like Trent said, LaMelo averaged 7 assists per game. If LaMelo's going to average more assists, I would like him to average more assists while he's aggressive. Yeah, it was a TV game. I think that was on NBA TV. That had me pissed off. LaMelo Ball could have had a record. He could have been the youngest player to average 50 points in a game. I'm like, what are you doing? Every time LaMelo was about to make history, yank, overpass. Oh, you know what? You're right, ESPN. Thank you for correcting me, GG. Because I got that lead pass, man. I'll be watching those live. Now, Slack believes that Clifford will not sit LaMelo Ball. Let's hope he does not. I hope so. Yeah, it was against the Bulls. Now, my prediction for most of the young guys, I think Bryce McGowan, he'll be in the G League just because that's what the Hornets do. They won't let a lot of young guys play on this active roster because in their idiotic minds, they think this team is a playoff team, even though they made no moves and kept the team where it was. Trent says he was lighting up Brooklyn Nets too for a stint. I remember that one. Many games he looked like he was going to drop 40 plus, and the ball went away from Lamelo. Yeah, man. Another game where Lamelo could have had a lot of points. Playing keep away. And then y'all realize, and I know this is last year, and people always say don't talk about last year, but you could learn from prior years how a team plays and what not to do. So when I bring up last season, I'm bringing up last season to let Hornet fans know and LaMelo fans know that this is not the type of basketball you need to be playing. Everybody's talking about playing the right way and playing team basketball, but when it comes to LaMelo Ball, they ignore those talking points because they don't want him, let's be honest, they don't want him making first team All NBA and getting all the accolades. They didn't want him to do that. Some of them didn't even think he was going to make the NBA, even though he had the talent, because he chose a different route than most young guys. And now that LaMelo is more successful, they're going to be the main people talking about, oh, he needs to share the ball with Terry and they could coexist. I don't want to hear that crap. He's the franchise point guard. This is his franchise. It's not arrogance, it's truth. GG says kid can easily average a triple-double being aggressive. I agree with that. Slash says Bryce in the G League will be criminal. You know the Hornets are going to do it. I don't want it to happen, but just know how the Hornets roll. They're going to do that. Slat says when Duran was drafted, they could have packaged Bumley and Oubre with him to free up some money. They could have, but they didn't. Got too comfortable. And what have the Hornets become all of a sudden the Golden State Warriors, where they don't have to make any moves and we're just going to develop and we're going to put young prospects in the G League? Come on, man. You're not the Golden State Warriors. Now, if the Golden State Warriors do it, it's different. They know how to develop talent. So it's a difference. Slash says, do you think Mark Williams will play? Sparingly. He'll play a couple of series. He does have defensive ability in the paint. Now, my problem with Mark Williams is in space. I saw it in the Summer League. If you could get Mark Williams in space, he's a no man's land. And his defensive ability diminishes once you have like if you play a team like the Warriors, man, that's going to be a matchup nightmare. He's going to be confused. But when he plays against bigger teams that are in the paint oriented, that's when his skills will show defensively. Offensively, Mark Williams has a long way to go offensively. He doesn't have any go-to moves at all. And he's got to work on a jump hook or something to turn around, something. I would love for Mark Williams to train with a brother like the legend Hakeem Olajuwon. That would do wonders for him. Gigi says, learn from watching film. Whoever says that is flat out ignorant. Yo, when LaMelo said he didn't know MJ was in the building for the All-Star, but Michael Jordan sought out Luka, shows me everything I need to know. Yeah, still embarrassing. I'm glad you remember that too, because I was like, what the heck? When he saw, meaning Michael Jordan, when he saw Luka Doncic, he hugged him like that was his son. Like that was his player. that first got into an all-star team. That's what it looked like. Slat says, Mark Williams fit Clifford's scheme. I just don't get it. Why would you keep Plumlee? That's what I'm saying. Slash says, DJ, they don't need Mark Williams for offense. Somewhat true. But he does need to finish on offense. When he gets that ball and he's in the paint, he has to finish. You can't be 7'1", and not knowing what to do with the ball. You got a matchup problem. You got to yam it on someone. That's what I want to see from Mark Williams. But it would be nice if he had a couple moves. All he needs to do is catch lobs and go up strong. Yeah, if he catches Lamelo's passes and not fumble the ball like most players, PJ, Blumley, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'll settle for that. Gigi says, Mark Williams has a 9'11" standard reach. LaMelo can literally assist to Mark, like you said. He just needs to finish strong. That's all he finish the weight he has. But how much he weigh? 280? He's around 280 of muscle. 270, 280 of muscle. I'll go with 270. If he could do that, then he'll have a prosperous career. Now, it sounds simple, but it's all about the mentality. But I just wanted to break down the schedule. If you want to look at the full schedule, you could go on the Hornets.com website or the Twitter page. Thank you for liking and sharing this video. We had a great conversation as always. Raw Truth Media is a family, it's love. Nothing but positivity here. And share this video throughout all social media platforms. This is Raw Truth Media, and I'm out.